Radio in motion program loading in 3, 2, 1. Program activated.
Attention everyone, the unpleasant noise you are about to hear coming from your radio is not a mistake.
Okay, first things first, what is your name?
This is Big Sonny playing the best of the 90s and beyond.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Radio in motion.
Please do not turn off your radio, but turn up the volume on your receiver as high as it can go.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Radio in motion.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining me tonight on Radio Motion, our 90s rocks, because frankly, 90s does rock. Thanks for joining me again right now for another installment of The Ugly Truth. As always, the truth can be ugly, but the truth can certainly set you free. I wanted to talk a bit about a little bit of I suppose, childish behavior going on in the U.S. It's the only thing I can call it. It's just tantamount to someone who's not emotionally mature, like a child. So right now there's a lot of, and I have to be honest, it does tend to be sort of the left-leaning, very world hugging environmentalists. Nothing wrong with that. Sort of the people leaning to the left, very mad at Teslas for some reason. Well, I know the reason. They are vandalizing Teslas all over the U.S., setting them on fire. That's very mature and safe. Putting graffiti, adding swastikas. That's an interesting, ironic thing. So I will definitely touch on that in a minute. I think you'll want to hear what I have to say about that. But first, I feel like I need to talk about how we got here. And how I feel like everyone, a lot of people feel like they are just the most enlightened because we are in the age where knowledge is abundant. Therefore, with so much knowledge, we just must be the most knowledgeable and smartest people in the room. And the fact is I think that's really a bit of a misnomer. Just because there's a lot of information out there, I think the natural human instinct is to still go down this very divisive, tribalistic way. And frankly, I think that's what a lot of people doing in such an immature way. Let me put it like this. I think, first of all, I think, sort of culture war and tribal politics, it's just boring. It's so simple-minded. I thought we had evolved past that. And I think a lot of it today is there's knowingness rather than actual critical thinking. And they're two different things. Everyone just thinks they know the answer. I already know. Even if I hear your counter offer or I look something up and find another fact, it doesn't matter. I already know. And the thing is, and I've heard this saying, this is a fantastic saying, people think they know the answer. Most people, I think they believe they are thinking when they are actually, all they're doing, and this is the most important phrase ever, think about this, they're just rearranging their prejudices. Now, let that sink in. I think especially with social media, that's such an echo chamber. All you're doing is your preconceived prejudices. And again, a lot of people, and I know some people like this, they only think there's one kind of prejudice. That's just racism. That's it. That's the only kind of prejudice on earth. Let me tell you, folks, the word itself, the root of that, a prejudice, and that certainly is one of the type of prejudices, can be anything, whether it's a worldview, a view on the color of your car, just in general, it's a very dangerous thing. And I think part of that is we are all stuck in, it really is the Matrix. I can't say it any other way. We are stuck on our phones, and screen time is just getting worse. On average, people spend 5 hours on their phone, and then they always say, there's not enough time. Didn't have enough time to follow up on this project I wanted. Couldn't spend time with the family or the kids. I'm just saying there is enough time, and I'm a culprit too. I'm on my phone. Even worse, in the U.S., Americans spend up to 8 hours. That's 8 hours. That's going to work. The fact is we're on our phones more than we're sleeping. And that is also a very sad and scary thing and unhealthy. because when it comes to health, there's no quick trick. You can watch all those TikTokers who get up at 4 a.m. and they have this 4-hour routine, and like, this is the routine to live forever. Eat healthy, exercise, lower that sugar intake, and get a good night's rest. If you get some sleep, you'd be surprised how far ahead of the game you are right there. But I just wanted to point that out, that I think a lot of this is that everyone thinks they're an expert, and they all think that they're all very smart, but really they're just on their phones, and whatever they're feeding in your phone, its predictive nature, its algorithm is just spitting out the same stuff to make you feed into it. And like I say, you're not critically thinking. You're not reading something and going, interesting, let me tear this apart, or let me have an open discourse with someone and take your view and learn something from it. Interesting. No, you have your predisposed prejudices, and all it is, the phone is just rearranging them for you. And I think that's quite sad. There's an amazing photo. I don't want to show it because if I put this clip on YouTube, I don't want it taken down. There's this amazing picture. I will give you the website though. It's Eric Pickersgill, ericpickersgill.com. So this is a photographer. This is an amazing photo. What he did was he took photos all around town, just people doing their thing. I think some of it was like at a wedding, large groups of people or people just alone, families, kids. And he removed the phones from their pictures. So everyone in the photos was on their phone, but he digitally removed them. And they're beautiful black and white photos. But essentially what you see is hundreds of photos of people in groups or alone, and they're all doing this. And if you're just listening to me, I'm basically staring at my hand, looking like a fool. I'm staring at my open palm, just looking like what am I? I'm in a trance. You know what I'm saying? I'm caught in this trance, staring at my hand like an idiot. And that's all of us staring at our phones. So again, all of this is leading to the fact that I think there's just some real immaturity out there. And rather than people just being open to agreeing to disagree, whether it's someone in government, someone in politics, someone in your family, someone that lives in your neighborhood, you're not always going to agree and get along. But as long as you treat each other with respect, you're not hurting each other or inciting anyone to hurt each other. Frankly, I don't give a crap what you do, as long as you are able to live and let live and try to find a way to get to the next step together. So again, I'm going to mention something I've talked about before. I'm a huge Star Trek nerd. Why am I mentioning Star Trek? Well, if you are a Star Trek fan, you'll understand what I'm saying. If you're not, let me describe it like this. The interesting thing about Star Trek is unlike Star Wars, that's in a galaxy far, far away. Star Trek was really meant to be our future. Hundreds of years from now, what our potential is. And one of the most interesting things I always took from the show, and by the way, it's a TV show. It's not perfect. It's written for ratings. It has had its ups and downs, lately more downs than ups. But the thing about Star Trek was, how did we finally get to the point where we could travel not just to our solar system, but far into other galaxies across the solar system, like driving your car? How did we get to this amazing technology where things like cancer are cured? And again, a utopian world. Well, how did we get there? One of the most important things is they said, well, humanity finally found a way to put away petty things like war, and that's a big one. But also part of that, I think, was the sort of just petty political divisiveness and getting so caught up with petty things. Because if you don't get past that, how can you create the next technology? How can you get to the next galaxy if all you want to do is sit at home on your phone and watch someone post something and you're mad at them and you've got to make your comment? And that's you all day. That's everyone all day bickering with each other. So that's one of the main things about Star Trek. How did they get to that point? How did they get so much breakthroughs? Because they were able to get through this petty, tribal, primal rivalry that we seem to not get past in our primitive brain. And I think we won't get to the Star Trek future if we won't. And again, when I talk about Elon Musk and Tesla, which is hilarious that people are burning Teslas because they don't like his politics, he is not the only brains behind his companies, whether it's Tesla or SpaceX, but he is someone who at least has a thought to inspire others and put in motion, and yes, I'm going to say this, he's a billionaire that I don't mind him being a billionaire, because I think he puts his money where his mouth is. He puts his money towards the betterment of mankind. Whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny that. Okay, this is a man that his company just recently saved astronauts who were stuck in space for 6 months, where NASA, a government-run agency, God love NASA, NASA's done amazing things, also filled with brilliant people, but they dropped the ball. And he saved humans' lives. And he's still in trouble. This is the pettiness I don't get. So the Elon Musk. So there's the Trump syndrome. And again, I'm not some sort of Trump lover. I just talk about some of the things that he may have done and the reason he was elected, because he was elected by the people who want him to do a thing to make their lives better. That's all a president's supposed to do. I'm sorry for anyone in Australia or the UK, if you're still used to a king or a queen, the president works for you. That's a fact. Your taxpayer dollars, pay him. So the least he can do is help you be able to buy some groceries for your family, go to the movies, have a decent life for a hardworking job. So I'm just saying, and that goes along with Elon Musk too. None of them are perfect. Neither of them are perfect, but there are great things they do. I put it like this, the whole Trump syndrome thing, and I think I have people in my family who have that. The man could cure cancer. They'd still go, I don't care. He's probably going to put something bad in it, or he'll make it cost too much. The man could cure cancer, he'd still be in trouble. And this is the same with Elon Musk. So Trump syndrome has turned into Elon Musk syndrome. So there's a spree of vandalism in the States. Teslas are being vandalized. And the irony is, and this is a fact, most of the Tesla owners, frankly, are those on the left. In the States, that's primarily Democrats. They are the Tesla owners. A year ago, he was a hero. He is creating an electric car that's saving the planet. And now he is the devil incarnate. And it's hilarious. So they're fighting against Nazis by putting up swastikas on Teslas and burning them, which sounds very Nazi-like. It's always funny to me how the people who sort of blame shift, they say, you're the fascist, and they do horribly fascist things. I'm sorry I'm not one of those that believes, going out and rioting and burning down businesses like happened, a few years back with the BLM movement. And again, when I say that, the BLM movement itself inherently is a good thing. The actual corporation behind it was a farce. You look that up. A total scam. How sad is that? So the people who were passionate about the BLM movement were burning their own cities and towns and businesses of the people, the local families that are trying to make a living. They're burning it down. That just doesn't sound heroic to me. Or, let's riot for freedom. It kind of sounds like fascism in itself. So that in itself is ironic, that the people on the left are attacking the Teslas, probably of the neighbors who are also a Democrat, and they're like, what did I do? I don't know what I did. And I think the funniest thing is, if you, this is not funny, but it is kind of funny, if you want someone to vandalize a Tesla, put a Trump sticker on it. Isn't that hilarious? That's all you have to do. Put a Trump sticker on a Tesla and someone will probably kick in the door. By the way, that is ridiculous and childish. Like I say, why is it that everyone just assumes that people, especially in government, are always mature adults? And this goes for us too, because it is just a childish thing to do this. Now, here's another funny thing. So there's Tim Walz. He ran for vice president. He's the governor of Minnesota. So the funny thing is again, I don't think they understand what they're doing when they just let their, like I say, primal divisive emotions run wild. So Tim Walz is up on stage, and he's talking to the audience. He's going, "Oh, I've got the Tesla stock on my phone, and I always like to see that the Tesla stock is going down." Okay, so again, this is someone who really is not thinking it through. So just because of a silly, childish vendetta, because Elon Musk by the way, Elon Musk is also himself, he says, has always been very left-leaning. He is just trying to go with whatever the logical choice is. And for right now, maybe his political leanings align currently with the current White House cabinet, and that just happens to be Trump. So that's all he did wrong. He's just trying to go with the person he thinks is the best choice to really raise the people's lives and quality of life up. So that's his sin. And people are now happy that his stock is going down. Well, let me tell you what happens when the stock goes down. And it's similar in any country, especially with retirement. So people invest. People have superannuation. In the States, it's Social Security. Well, guess what? That's based on all the companies and how they're doing in your country. And Tesla is a huge one. People invest in that company. And guess who invests in that? Well, Minnesota and Tim Walz himself invest in these companies. People's retirements, they are going to count on that. 1.6 million shares of Tesla are in the retirement fund. Another 21,000 in a non-retirement fund. Total value, and I'm taking this directly, is over 400 million, which means the value of Tesla going down, that's the taxpayers' retirement checks going out the window. So that's someone rooting for the downfall of people's Social Security and retirement, and just trying to build wealth in general. Because again, Tesla is part of that. It's an American company, and like any company in Australia too. Don't you want Australia owned? Isn't that a beautiful thing? Made here, built here, and it provides back to the economy and to the people. But yeah, this is the thing they don't get. This is what a childish small mind looks at. I'm mad. I'm gonna kick you. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna kick your mailbox because I'm mad at you. It's ridiculous. It's childish. So the value of Tesla goes down. They have no idea that they're actually affecting, the actual people that the state that he's the governor of, their retirement fund. This is just a thought. Maybe while he's tracking Tesla's stock value on his phone, he should also track the value of taxpayers' retirement funds, because that's how blind hatred works. You know what I'm saying? Not only is it childish, it's just emotionally immature. It's blind hatred. And I don't think that has any place in, like I said, our Star Trek future. I don't think blind hatred is going to get us to the next galaxy. I don't think that's how we work together. It's like it's cutting off your nose to spite your face, seriously. To root against the electric car company that you praised only a year ago for fighting against climate change. But it makes you celebrate the misfortune of a person who just saved astronauts who are stranded in space for almost 8 months, right? This blind hatred will make you turn against someone who gave the internet. Does anyone remember that? No, because you forget all the good things. He gave the internet to the Ukraine when they needed it the most. It'll make you malign against someone who, destroy a person, and happy to see them fail, just because, they hurt your feelings, I guess, or you want to hurt their feelings. So that's what blind hatred does. And I don't think that's a sign of anyone who's mature and ready to come to the table. Politics shift, governments shift, elect different people. Don't be a baby about it. And also, I'm going to flip this immediately. This is a fact. Whoever's listening, whichever way you're leaning politically, if these were Trump supporters bashing Tesla cars because Elon Musk was on the other side, oh my God, it'd be on the news constantly. They'd all be in prison. You know that for a fact. If Trump supporters were throwing Molotov cocktails at cars and watching them burn and almost setting an apartment on fire just because they're big babies and they're poor losers, it'd be front and center all over the news, all over mainstream media, and they'd all be in jail. That's the point. And how sad is that? And that's a fact. If you flip the script, he's the devil. But there's always an excuse. And I'm sorry, I am a diehard believer in freedom of speech at any cost. Yes, at any cost. I don't believe your principles should be the thing. I'm going to stand up for my principles at any cost, which means I'm going to burn down this store because those are my principles. I'm going to show you. I'm going to burn this car. That's how I'm going to show. I'm going to riot. I'm going to stand up. No, that's not how you stand up, because that is taking away the other person's right to express themselves. That's using violence and hatred. I don't believe in that. I believe you need to suck it up and gut it up and deal with it, and that's freedom of speech. And I know what that means, especially, I always use the American flag as an example. You can use the Australian flag or whatever flag that brings you pride. You can fly it in your front yard. It brings you pride from maybe your company, your city, your neighborhood, your country, your people, whatever it is. You fly that flag. Nothing wrong with that. Your neighbor burns that flag, that same flag. You can't go over and bash him. You have to deal with it. That's a fact. That's freedom of speech. Okay? And you live in the same country, and you need to find a way to have a chat and find out, why are you waving the flag? Well, why are you burning the flag? And just keep that open discourse. Freedom of speech is not censorship. I can't stand that. That's another thing. I've talked about that before. It is not about someone deciding up high on, the ministry of truth. They will decide what's right and wrong. It doesn't work like that. Information gets out. You have to deal with all of it and take in what you can. Hate speech. Well, there is only speech. I'm sorry. There is only speech, and some of it can be nasty. And all you can do is try to impress on that person and teach them a better way to express themselves. You can't stop what they're saying, but hopefully at some point you can diminish it, and maybe it will stop on their own because you've changed their mind. I believe in that. That's how to do it. So, again, just some of my final thoughts on where we are with this. There's no point in burning Teslas to prove a point. There's no point in vandalizing or destroying someone's property. In general, and these are simple things. You're smart people, you get it. People are complicated. That goes without saying. I've talked about this before. There are times in history where empires who ruled, and some people would argue with this, not everyone was necessarily completely miserable. They maybe had success for millennia. There's times when a democratic society has just fallen apart. I'm just saying that neither is perfect. Being ruled makes us rise. That's a fact. I get that. But having so much freedom, and I do know I just talked about freedoms of speech, but sometimes having so much freedom also just causes us to bicker. So we really do have to find a way to evolve past that. Again, being ruled makes us rise, but when everything is open, it does tend to make us bicker a lot. But I will say having no morals doesn't help, and having no compass, and I'm not going to preach about what that is, whether it's religion or you just have a personal moral or a mantra or something that was taught you by your family, whatever it is. I'm going to be honest, you need one. I'm sorry, humans need one. Without one, they have no compass. And that's why I always say, again, try to, get off your phone once in a while. It is a drug. It is designed like that. It is feeding you like a drug would. It's used to sedate you. And I get it. You got to get through the work week, and it's how you sedate yourself. And you think, well, it's better than taking drugs. Yeah, it is from a physical lifespan point of view, but it is draining you in other ways. Don't let it just sedate you. But I say, focus inward on yourself and your family, your community. Worry about mentorship. If you're a father or a friend, a mother, mentor the next generation. Like I say, that's the best thing I can do, is give them the tools, give them the morals, give them the compass, however you want to do it. I'm not going to tell you, preach to you what religion is the best or what moral compass is the best, but they need one. And I hope you pass one down, because they need to have some direction to go so they can respect their fellow human. It's simple as that. Teach the next generation to be better. You can believe in yourself, but not to the point of narcissism. Again, that's another thing. I believe we turned so inward that we're just into the self. It is so much about the self. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course you should have pride in the things you've done and your accomplishments, but also, not to be mean, you need to look outward. There's other people. Why don't you impress some of that onto others? And why don't you just be a little bit more aware of others rather than, and I'm going to be honest, you want the whole world to change for you. It's not going to happen. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a way you look or a way you feel or a pronoun or a trigger word, whatever it is. We all try our best to accommodate each other, and I'm one of those that does that. I believe that's what a gentleman does. Sorry, call me old-fashioned. You do try to accommodate others and make them feel comfortable. But what I'm not going to do is lie to you and change the whole world for you. Because I'm going to tell you this is the secret, folks. You want to fight the world's going to win every time. So you need to cool your jets on the whole, change the whole world to my feelings. Wearing my t-shirt that says, you will change for me and everything that I want and that I'm feeling. And if you don't, I'm going to have a flip out. Well, flip out. Because you know what? The pendulum is swinging back, folks, and I don't give a flipping fluid flap if you're triggered. I will treat you with the utmost respect and do my all to do that. But you can't change everything around one single person's needs. Guess what? A lot of people on the planet, so don't always look inward. Why don't you look outward a little bit? And I'll also say, I think human change is slow. Human evolution is slow. Technology and AI is moving so fast. It's moving so much faster than we can keep up with. It takes a long time for us to evolve. Can we adapt? That's different. I made a note for myself. We adapt pretty well, and COVID's another version, and not for the better. We adapt to changes in rules pretty quickly. A little bit scary. We adapt well, but really to evolve, to have it inherently in us, that takes a long time. And tech and AI I think it's overwhelming us, and it's a little bit scary. So we're going to be slow to catch up to that one. So yeah, that's my final thought. As always, just respect each other and do unto others as you've had done unto you. These are not things I've made up. These are sayings from long ago. Whether again they're just passed on from family to family. Truth is truth. Logic is logic. And don't burn Teslas. All right, that's all I have for tonight. Hope you enjoyed that segment. I hope you're enjoying tonight's show of Radio Motion 90s Rock. More great 90s rock up next after a word from our awesome sponsors.